My name is Deborah Imbrogno, and I'm the Executive Director at RCH&R, which is the Residential Center for Healing and Resilience. The role of the Executive Director is to ensure that all programming is happening the way that it's supposed to, right? So overseeing all functions. But the youth's needs will always come first. So if there's something going on with one of our youth, I will attend to that before we do anything else. So I have been working with young people, since 1992. And when I first began, a campus supervisor, and I'll never forget this, knocked on the door of the house that I was working in and said, "Can you please go get your staff?" And I'm like, "I am the staff." So that's what that looked like. I started out as a direct care worker, went to being a cottage manager for a period of time, and that was a lot of fun. I was not so much older than the girls, right? Because at that point I was still pretty young. And I had 16 girls. Definitely understood the value of having those relationships, right? Because at that time it would not have been unusual for me to be alone with 16 girls. So going from a manager and then to a campus supervisor, and then grew from there. I became the Senior Director of Residential Services, which really, that was 3 campuses, and that involved clinical, medical, and residential service delivery. Advocacy has always been a big deal to me, and I have felt through my lifetime that youth, they don't have a voice, and they do have a voice, but it is not listened to, it is not honored. And I wanted to be a part of changing that. I wanted to be a change agent. I think that's the best way to explain it. That was really important to me. When you were a child, when I was a child, we always felt like adults didn't get it, right? And I think youth is its own culture, and how we embrace that is what matters, I think, like how we pay attention to it and validate it. First and foremost is building those relationships, right? With our youth, with our staff, internally and also externally with people, and really talking about what we do, how we do it. I think I love that part of my work. And I love when we're able to build connections with the youth and their outcomes change for life in such a positive way. And I've had that wonderful experience of knowing youth for many, many years. I've done this for a really long time. So maybe meeting somebody when they were 12 or 13 years old, and they could be a lot older now, and just like following their journey, you know, it's a blessing and a pleasure to be invited into somebody's journey and watch how they grow. The commitment to mission is really what grabbed me when we're talking about how we affect change and how we do that. I think it's so important. I'm not hearing, like, even now, the focus is about work, right? There's a lot of work in front of us. There's so much that we have to do, but it's about the work. For me, the work environment is super, super important because you spend a lot of your time at work. So, and I can be intentional about that at this stage of my life, or anybody can, but you know, for me, that is something that I placed a lot of importance on, because I know what it's like to work somewhere where the culture doesn't feel great, and when it does. So that's something that's very important to me. So just even in those conversations, I was very impressed. And I'll tell you, like, even through the transition, people reached out to me, like, just to ask if everything was okay, did I need anything? Anything that I needed, like if I needed advice about like food or like everything, literally, which was very different. There is just a level of authenticity that you don't find many other places. I think my favorite part about the organization is its culture and its commitment to its mission, right? Which is about the youth and how do we best help our youth. That and all of the efforts in the organization go back to that, right? So all of our work is intentional, it's thoughtful, and that's one thing that I really, really, really feel very good about. I am most excited to build these relationships, right? Like with our youth, with our families, with the community. It's been really exciting to me, like to see how the community came together on this. It's pretty remarkable. So when I look at that and just how that will all come together, I think is pretty exciting.